Hey guys, Wheels here, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining us today. Today I'm going to start a brand new video series, kind of like maybe a diary update gameplay here on Pleasant Valley County. And the name of my farm homestead here is, we're on the Johnson farm, but the name of my company is Geared Up Farms. So if you don't know anything about Pleasant Valley County, it is a 16x map designed for PC only. I am on single player, and there is a lot to this map. Okay, so the purpose of the video right off the offset here is not necessarily to be a tutorial. If you want to find out about all the details about how everything on the map works, you go to pvmods.com, which will be linked in the description, or you can see Dajnet over on Twitch, on his Twitch channel, DAJNET, over on Twitch, and he is streaming all kinds of videos on how to do things on the map and does updates every week on it. So basically the reason I'm doing this video and a series of videos is just kind of show you some gameplay and how Wheels has set things up, okay? And I'm learning as I go, so that's why I'm not doing a comprehensive tutorial right now, but maybe you'll catch on to some things, and I'll definitely pass on things to you that I do know about the map. So here we are, starting on the main island. Now, I call it an island, but if you look at the map here, and by the way, I am on seasons. I'm playing 9-day seasons, and I'm in early spring right now. So if you look at the map, though, we are located right smack in the middle here at what's called Johnson Farm. There are several other farms in several areas around the map, but you can see it's absolutely gigantic. And you have all this stuff over here, including ores, minerals, from salt to coal to sand to bauxite, and a number of other items, which we will get to as gameplay progresses. All right, so I am starting right here in the middle. You can basically see the fields that I've essentially been playing for several hours, but what I've started with, kind of like my kind of setup, if you would, to start with. I basically started with a couple of fields, and then we expanded, and we now have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fields over here, and then I own field 31 over here, and I own field 8 over here, so technically 12, but I'm really not. Those are both grass right now, and will be used for placeables at some point. So there's tons of placeable factories. There are place factories that are already in the map. There are buildable bridges, and the list goes on and on and on and on. So if you continue to come back and watch the series, I'll give you updates on what I'm doing, and it can get overwhelming at times. That's why I'm starting on 9-day seasons. So basically bring you kind of up to speed of where I'm at on the farm. It's day 3 of early spring. I have planted oilseed radish on all of my fields, and they are going to be ready once that starts growing to plow in or to cultivate in, and then actually put some seeds down for regular fields. So you can see kind of my fleet set up here. I have a flatbed. Of course, the map utilizes autoload trailers. Dajnet Mods, again, the creator of the map. So you'll hear more about him, and I definitely encourage you to head over to Twitch, give him a follow on Twitch, and find out what he's all about, and of course visit their website. But we have a seed tender overloader here. We have a couple of trailers, and we have about 3 class Zerions right now. We have a couple of plows, a couple of cultivators, a couple of seeders. I have some placeable things for my liquid fertilizer and my other goods that I need right now. You actually do have to make this stuff on the map, but I put a placeable in the early game to start that. And of course I am making the stuff as well. Over here we have a liquid sprayer for my herbicide and my fertilizer, a couple of combines, and just your basic equipment. So I have a mower over here. Of course, I have the speed player on, so I may be using that somewhat. We do have some fuel tanks here. We got our placeable seed maker right here, which I need to put crop in still. I haven't started making seeds yet, although it does have some fertilizer in it. We have our fertilizer maker right here, which I have started to use. These are global company, by the way, and it takes water and silt or manure. Right now I'm using silt. We'll get to that. I have milk cows right here, and I have beef cattle right here that I'm just starting to raise them. And of course, you'll be seeing them as time goes on. We have a quarry mine placeable silo here for items such as lime and silt and coal and whatever else I decide to put there. Mainly, I put it there for the lime storage, but okay, over here we have a unique item called a gold master. Basically, what you do is you put water in and you put silt in. You're like, where do you get silt? Well, we'll be talking about that soon. But you put your silt in there, and then it outputs gold, what's called clean fill, and recycled water, which can go back into the machine again. Clean fill we'll get into at a later time, but it does create an extra item. Okay. So, for my cattle, before we get to the shell station, I have a silo storage here for stuff that's related to my animals. We have a TMR mixer here. We have 2 silage fermenting bunkers right there, or silos, fermenting silos. And then we have a grass dryer right there for hay as well. Okay, so that's kind of how I'm dealing with my animals right now in my storage. This is kind of how my animal area is set up. And it is almost 6 o'clock at night in game, so it's getting a little bit dark here, but I wanted to get this video in on the first day of spring, or excuse me, on the early spring. It's day 3, but just now decided, you know what, I need to jump in YouTube, and we need to kind of chronicle and show our progress and put some videos out for people who might be wanting to know, okay, what's gameplay like on Pleasant Valley? I mean, we hear a lot of tutorials, a lot of stuff, and they go really fast, but how are people actually playing it? Well, that's how you see that part. Now, this right here is a placeable, the shell station. I placed it here on purpose, but basically what you do is you bring items over, put them in. It'll produce fuel with any one of the 4. If you have all 4, then it gives you a bonus. But so in other words, I could just plant and put in sorghum, and it'll create fuel just from sorghum, or just from sugarcane or corn or silage. Put them all together and you get a bonus. Okay, so I'm making fuel. There is no place to buy fuel on the map. You do have to make it. So, which is kind of a staple of all Pleasant Valleys through the years. All right, so that's that. Across the street here and across the field down here, we have a pond. Now, you've never seen a pond like this in Farm Sim before now. Basically, the pond will start out dry. And when you get rain, the pond will fill with water when you get rain. Okay? And once it fills with water, then it will start producing silt in the bottom of the lake here. All right, if I jump in a vehicle and tap and zoom out, you can see there's piles of silt that's been created because there's water in the pond. Now, you have to own the property in order for this to work, but when it rains, it'll fill up with silt like this, these piles of silt, and as long as there's water in there, it'll keep on replenishing itself with silt. Now, if you want to, and it's not raining, you can actually put water in here, and you can fill the pond just like you can fill a regular trigger or fill point or animal fill point or something. You can bring a water tanker over here and you can fill this thing. All right, there's actually a tip trigger right here. All right, so basically you'll take the silt. I'm using a milling machine, and you'll take and fill the trailer with silt. And 2 things you can do with silt is you can put it in the fertilizer maker, or you can put it in the gold master to sift out for gold, or actually number 3, you could sell it. So those are the uses for silt. There are several ponds around the map. Once you own them, then they will operate the very same way. All right, so over here I have a little bit of some extras right now that I have managed to get done. We have a barn storage right here, which stores items like compost, which is made over there at the composter, straw, grass, silage, stuff that you might use for animals, and stuff that is stored like in a hayloft type thing. Okay, so the actual silo stores that stuff too at the main farm, but this is just a little bit more of a separation and separate storage for those items. Of course, you have a drop off and you have a refill point. This is also placeable. Composter is placeable. Once you start making fuel, then you'll deliver your fuel over, put your fuel in here, and you will bring here either straw, wood chips. I think there's other items you can actually use here as well, but straw and wood chips is what I've used so far. Go ahead and dump it in. It'll produce compost, which you can then store, and compost will be used for your greenhouses, which you see here, and orchards, which I do not have set up yet. So I have, I think, 10 greenhouses set up here. All of them are the same. You put water in, you put compost in, all right, and then you put pallets in the back, which you make over at the forestry, the logging area, which I'll show you. You actually make at a pallet plant. Once you put compost, water, and pallets, then this will start to grow. If you want a bonus, you can also put in fertilizer, which I've done, lime, and herbicide, which is kind of an end game product for this map. It's not an early game product that you make. I'll have to buy it early game, but I did put some fertilizer, so I got a little bit of a bonus. But once I get lime and herbicide in, then this will be operating full swing. But you can start it without any of these. It's just a bonus, okay? So anyway, we have our cauliflower there, tomato, watermelon, cucumbers, lettuce, mushrooms, pumpkins, raspberries, red cabbage, and strawberry. Okay, and then I have those two up there. I do have a placeable water trigger. This doesn't come on the map. I placed this here. It's just a mod that I had, and it just makes it easier to get water from that rather than have to go to a water source. So that's what I've done. I don't necessarily play a game of Farm Sim realistically, as you might call it. I play it personally what I like to call wheelistically, which was coined by my friend DC Dave. So I play it the way the Wheels likes to play it. So sometimes I might try to be realistic. Other times I'm not going to be realistic, and I'm going to play it just the way I want to play it. And that's the beauty of Farm Sim. We can all play our own way, right? All right, so that's kind of how that works here at the main farm. I do own an area across the bridge over here, and that's going to be, so my main farm is here. Now, in order to get on the main island here, there are bridges that go over to the other parts. Now, these bridges here leaving the main square are already built, but in order to go on the outer bridges out here, I'm going to have to build those, okay? But I can get from here over to here and up to here. But in order to get to the rest of the map, I have to build the bridges, which means building factories and putting in construction equipment in order to get that. Okay, I haven't done that yet. So, but I can get over the first bridge. Let's run to a bridge. I'm just going to run over here. If you don't mind. Right now, I'm kind of giving you like a rundown of what the map looks like as far as how I've set it up in early game. Again, you can set it up however you want, but there may be somebody watching who is really unsure and overwhelmed by Pleasant Valley, and one could get that way very easily. I'm still kind of that way, but you might want to see exactly how you might lay things out to start with and how you get started, okay? And this will kind of help you to understand, okay, how do you kind of get started on this, and what do you want to do first? Well, we've showed you the main farm. This area over here is my forestry operation. Again, a lot going on here. All right. Up on the hill, I own that stretch of trees and stuff over there, which I'll be cutting with the Scorpion and bringing down here with the auto-load trailer. Of course, I have a fuel refill point here, which you have to fill once you make fuel at the Shell station. You can bring it over here and store it. Okay, and there's a lot going on here, but right here is a sawmill. Okay, now it's very important for you to understand on Pleasant Valley County that there is no log sell point. So, and you don't actually log in order to sell the logs themselves, just to the sawmill. You bring the logs over here and you make boards. Now you don't even sell the boards, okay? So there's like multiple layers of things that you do in order to build stuff on this map. And you start out with cheaper materials, put them all together, and you have expensive finished end game items that you'll end up making. Okay, so you put your logs in on the other side, right over here, and then you'll make boards. Okay. Now when you first place this, none of these other buildings are here. Only the sawmill itself. Now, the sawmill has modules to it, and these modules, you have several different ways they work here. Let me find them. Okay, so these are some of the factories that go in. Okay, a sawmill, number one. I'll explain maybe at a future time what the 1-2s. Those are kind of like giving you a picture of what you do first. But you put in a sawmill. The 4x, 2x, or 6x simply means how many modules the sawmill has. What a module does is it leaves you a trigger that's on the ground that you can come in and you can place another factory on top of, so that when you spawn boards out of the sawmill, they will go directly into the trigger for the other building. And for in this case, boards will come out. The boards come out here. This is also a trigger. The outer lines will be here when you first place a sawmill, but that won't be here, nor will this picture of boards be here. So when I place down the actual pallet factory, I put this in the middle of the trigger. Now I can come over here to PV, my little icon. I can click R. I can go to boards. I can do, you have to go down here to the bottom and you spawn pallets out as they're built. So spawn maximum, which will give me 3 pallets. And now the pallets will come out automatically. They're now going into the pallet maker, which will output pallets later. And when I want to output pallets, simply go over here and if I can find it, I was actually going behind the building there. Oh, the icon is what you go to. So I'll go right there to that. Pallets. I'll hit maximum or just however many I want and then spawn 8 pallets. And now we have all my pallets here, which are ready to pick up, which right now I'll take back to my greenhouses. That's pretty much the only use that I have for pallets at the moment is the greenhouse. All right, so yeah, I have 2 pallet factories. I have a barrel factory, which works the same way. You place the barrel factory inside the trigger where you can pop out boards. And because I have a 6 module sawmill. Now, I don't even need to use these. I can place these factories anywhere and actually manually come over here and get the boards, load them up, take them to a factory and unload them. But that takes time. So putting the triggers down and being able to place the building in the trigger saves you some time. Okay, so 2 pallets. I have 1 for planks. So I'm making planks here, which are used for building material. And then I have a paper factory right here, which I'm not using yet, which takes wood chips. So basically to do that, I place the wood chips, the chipper down inside the trigger that came with the sawmill. And then there's another trigger where you output the wood chips right here, and they will go into the paper factory. Now, the reason I haven't started making paper yet is because I need, well, all I need is water, but I don't need it yet. So I'm also chipping wood here, which is going into the chipboard factory, which does need glue. So I haven't started doing that yet either. Okay. So that's kind of a rundown in how I have my logging set up. So cut logs, bring them down to the sawmill, make boards, and then start putting them in these other factories. And then they'll make their respective items and you'll go from there. This over here is called Cogent. It is a storage facility. So as I make all these products, when I get overflow, I can start loading them up into the storage, which you output your stuff into storage here, and then you pick it up on these loading zones out on the outside of both sides of this. So I hope you understand how that works. It is starting to get dark, but that's pretty much how that works. There is another spot up on the up in the mountains area of the map, which I got to hurry because it's getting dark. Sorry, it's auto saving here. This is called a stone crusher up here. Oops. stone crusher. And sorry, it's getting a little bit dark, but anyway, right here's a stone crusher. It makes numerous items, but you can put this anywhere. It's a placeable. And basically what you do in order to operate this thing is you can get rocks from the actual machine by going and pressing R at the icon, spawning out the number of stones that you want. They'll actually automatically come out here, and as time goes on, and then you just throw them, you pick them up and throw them into that little conveyor belt. Okay, you can do that periodically. It produces stones periodically. The reason I put it up here is because I wanted to simulate actually getting rocks from the mountains, even though you're just spawning it at the piece of equipment. But it's as if I'm getting it from the surrounding mountains, basically. And then once you do that, then you right click on the button. A little pusher will come out. It'll push them up into the factory, and it'll start making several items, including lime, which is the most important thing right now, and other items that you need for building at a later date. Okay, so the other thing I want to show you real quick is I do have a Vehicle Explorer mod in, which is what I'm using to tab to vehicles. I want to jump over here real quick. All right, right here is one of the mining areas that I own. All right, so right here I have a front loader, and now these things are overpowered. The bucket holds 200,000 units, and this holds 1 million. But right here's a salt mine, and early game in PV, it's a good idea to buy some mines and sell some items off. You want to keep some in storage too. Like, for example, I have 1 million of salt in storage, and I'm going to clean out the rest of this mine right here and sell all the salt that's in here. So that's what's in here is salt. This is a small mine, by the way. There's a huge salt mine right over on the other side of that hill that makes this one look like a tiny little square. Okay, so I own this. I'm working on that right now. I also own a coal mine, which is right over here on this side. Kind of rounding off how I've got things set up here. And I'm currently emptying out this coal mine right here. It'll be a good spot to do forestry at some point over here as well. Again, I have coal that's used for several factories. I have 1 million in storage. It's also used to run the sawmill and a couple of other factories that are yet to be finished and built. So, excuse me. The only factory that I've got placed that isn't built yet, let's visit the sawmill, is right over here. I put my glue factory down here. Now, some of the factories and stuff are placeable, such as the sawmill. Well, not for everything. Some of the things that you have to build are placeable and buildable. So I placed down the glue factory here. Unfortunately, it has to be built. How do I build it? Well, I got to put resin in here, which I get from the sawmill, planks, which I make from boards, and boards. All right, and I need 40,000 of each. So I have enough resin, but I don't have enough boards yet. So I'm currently waiting. Right now, I've got, well, out of that trigger, I mean, you got to go here. Let's see, how many boards do I actually have? I have 23,000 boards. Now, the thing is, it's best until you get all the items before you put it in the build trigger. So I'm just kind of waiting. You can actually pre-fill a couple of them, but on the last thing that you put in there, you want to top it all the way off 100%. So I'm going to leave the resin out of there, and I'm slowly putting boards and planks in there. And then at the end, I'll swoop in, drop all the resin, and it'll start to build that factory. It won't build it immediately. It'll take a little bit of time. Okay? So that's kind of what Wheels' little early game setup is for PV County and early spring here on Seasons. So early game, what you want to do is you want to get your fuel down, fuel factory. You want to get some logging started. You don't have to have all this other stuff first, but you want to at least place the sawmill, go get you some wood, start putting logs in and making boards, and then pretty much go from there. So, but early game, the shell factory fuel factory and the sawmill are definitely essential in order to get things rolling. I happened to put animals in and a few other things. I actually carried forward a save game from their 4X map that I didn't finish when the 16X came out. I just started going with this one. So anyway, I'm going to go back to my house here. And it's nearly dark here on early spring. So in the house here at Johnson Farm, I don't know about the other farmhouses yet because I've not been to those, but really nice house, to be honest. I really love this house. So there are openable doors, office, laundry room. You know, it's a really cool looking house, man. I like it. So here we're in our office. I think it's getting dark. I'm going to sit down, check my emails, go through some websites, surf the internet, and probably play some games here before bed. So anyway, when it's time for bed, basically you'll just walk upstairs, go into the bedroom here, up the steps, up to the bed, hit your sleep trigger, and I'm going to sleep I'm just going to sleep the maximum amount that'll let me. So I'll be right back once daylight hits. And we're back, guys. It's morning here on Pleasant Valley County. Thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it if you made this far into the video. Definitely come see me over on Twitch and Wheels 24/7 on Twitch. Same as my YouTube channel, and the links below. You can definitely see me doing live streams over there as well. All right, so we're now in first day of early spring. It's a little bit laggy because of the maps trying to catch up with the textures. Grass was brown when I went to bed, which is a feature of the map. And now the grass is green, bright green. The leaves are popping out, and pretty soon we're gonna have crops planted. We're gonna have crops growing, and it's gonna be awesome. So, but the reason I'm playing on seasons is there's so much stuff to do that I need more time and I need more of a structure on how farms work. And previous to this, I have not played seasons much, so there's things I have to learn about seasons that I don't know yet. But I do love the grass textures that are custom textures to the map. And so here we are. So let's go check our crops and see when the oilseed radish is up. I don't know how long it takes it to grow. I think I normally should be planting it in the fall. By the way, there is garbage collection on the map, which I haven't even gotten into yet. There's TNT on this map. There's explosions. There's all kinds of stuff, man. There's boats, there's fishing, there's a fish hatchery. I mean, there's ducks. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out here. Okay, so my oilseed radish has been planted, and that should come up. I don't know how long. I know that I probably should plant that in the wintertime and then cultivate it in the spring. But anyway, we got to wait for that. So pretty much first thing I want to do in the morning is I need to go and check my triggers and everything that's been filled up. But obviously the very first thing to do to make sure that things are going the way they should is taking care of my animals. So the first thing I'm going to do here is, and I do have the animal pen extension for the water. That's what this is, animal pen extension. Basically allows you to go in, just, turn on the spigot, fill your water, and then let it go. So you don't have to liver it with water tanks. But I'm really digging the bright green grass right now, man. Okay. Let's go ahead and give the cows some water. Oops. And I'm telling you, with that grass texture, it's taken a while to update things. So one thing you want to be careful of is frame rates. You don't want to put too many things too close together. I'm probably about at the max of what I want right at the main farm here. And again, it's a little bit laggy because of seasons trying to catch up. and rendering in all the new grass and the leaves and stuff. There's something like 33,000 trees on this map. So I need to access my animals. Because I'm in seasons, I'll hit Alt S to pull up my season stuff. So basically they need straw. I think this milk pen right here stays clean all the time. Total mixed rations and straw. So let's grab a tractor. I think they're all over here. Wow, it's the first time I've experienced the slowdown on the map. Up until now, everything's been running really great. I guess it's just because, again, because it's taken seasons a while to catch up. I wonder if this grass, definitely a little bit of a slowdown. So I apologize for that. It wasn't something I had seen previously. Anyway, well, we will continue to let it load in. I do have a non-seasoned version of the game as well. Oh, there we go. See it? It jumped from 19 to 32 right there. Okay, good. It must have just been a rendering issue. Okay. So with seasons, I guess it takes a while. Like I said, I'm kind of new to seasons, so some of you that are seasoned players already probably knew that, but I don't have a clue about that, so I'm learning. Okay, now I got a little bit of silt in the bottom of this freaking trailer. Let's go get rid of that. So I can put extra silt in storage. I don't know that I'm going to have a lot in storage unless I do a bunch of silt. Everything's full and I just want to keep emptying out the pond in order to produce more. You know, there's no problem doing that. But the thing about Pleasant Valley, what I haven't liked about seasons in the past is that it seemed like that there was a lack of things to do. Now, because it's early game, you know, I do have a limit in the things I can do, but on Pleasant Valley, there's always something that can be done. So I've got straw. I'm not putting normal crops in here except for what pertain to the animals. Like I'm going to need corn and soybeans in here to feed the animals, or to feed the cows at least. I do have the mixed rations in here, chaff, wood chips, silage, and I don't need hay. I do need straw though. So I'm going to get enough to put in the animal pens, and also I'm going to get enough to top off my TMR mixer as well. So there's always something to do on a Pleasant Valley map, even with seasons, and I guess that's probably the beauty of what I like about it, is that there's always something to do. So I think with seasons, again, it's going to structure where I have a planting season and a harvest season, and then I have all the in-betweens where you're doing stuff like mowing and, you know, mining, or in the wintertime, you know, I can run my orchards, I can run my, you know, logging, sawmills, I can, you know, stock up my greenhouses and all that stuff. So anyway, and I don't even have a lot of animals yet. So I'm barely scratching the surface of the map. So eventually, even on non-day seasons, you just don't have time to keep up. So, and with the seasons, at least I'll know when I'm going to plant and when to harvest and all that. 9 days seemed a little bit much for me, but we'll see how 9 days does. Almost feel like the first year I should have done 6. But needless to say, we'll continue on. We'll try and see what 9 looks like. I don't know how many videos I'm going to put out on this. Like, they definitely will not be every day, but I may do several a week. I'm not really sure. I might just do one a week. We'll wait and see how things work out. You know, if I'm enjoying it, people are watching it, and I feel like you guys are interested in it and engaged, then that would be something I would be prone to do more often. I'm definitely going to be continuing my live stream of this map too, though. So there's going to be a pretty big combination between live streams and YouTube, where I probably just update you guys on YouTube of what's going on the farm and do some gameplay. But the more grindy aspects of the game are good for a live stream. So if you want to see the whole kit and caboodle, definitely come over and see me. Man, that's an old school term. You can definitely come over and see me on Twitch. That would be awesome. Okay, so that wasn't as empty as I thought. All right, so generally, when I sleep through the night, I got to spend the first little bit in the morning catching everything up. Obviously, the animals are real important for their health, so I got to prioritize them first. But while I'm over here working with them, I'm definitely going to set a routine where I systematically, empty the silage fermenter, fill the TMR maker, make sure that everything's producing again. If these things are full, they need to be emptied in order to continue on. Now, this one doesn't have any grass left, so there's none left there. I'll see if I have any left in this one. I don't remember if I put... No. Okay, so I think I do have hay, though. Oh, that wasn't a very good turn. So, personally, the reason why I have the Zerion is I feel like the class Zerion has the most horsepower for the best price in early game. If I'm going to pull my cultivator or my plow, I'm going to have a certain horsepower. And the horsepower, again, on the class Zerion is very good for its price. So I upgrade the engine to the biggest engine, and I'm just keeping all class tractors. And we use John Deere harvesters and class tractors, basically. So I'm going to have a giant fleet of class stuff by the time we're done. Plus, I want to get my money's worth and play the DLC a little bit. But I'm not necessarily a fanboy of any tractor brand. I'm just playing and having fun. I mean, I'm only a farm sim in the virtual world, farmer in the virtual world, man. So, anyway, we'll get our hay in here. We'll go ahead and grab some silage out of the out of the silo there. I have enough TMR where really there's no problems. I have a lot of excess, but we're still in the developmental mode, and so I want to make sure that all this stuff is stocked up as well as possible. Okay, so we'll drop our hay in here. So basically, until I mow, those things right there, the factories, I say the fermenting silos and the drying silo, that's not going to be used. So we don't have to update that till I mow, which should be fairly soon. I don't know when you can mow in seasons, when it's a productive, good time to mow. Right. So, oops, that was not a good deal. Okay. All right, so I'm going to grab silage out of here. I think I am anyway. We'll grab silage out of here. I only need 30,000 of it. So I'm going to try to get under that. That's close enough. Because the TMR mixer only takes 30,000. It's pretty low. All right. So basically, this is how I'm going to pretty much start out every day on this map as far as in-game days, is taking care of the animals first so that they survive, and then I'll go check all my triggers. Like, I'll have boards that are ready to be taken out so that everything continues to run. the way that it should. There is some TMR in there, which we'll go ahead and take out. I need to top off the TMR at both animals. And then we're done pretty much. So it's taking care of them. We'll top off the animals, put the rest of this in storage. And then pretty much what I'll do is I'll be going over, checking my forestry and making sure all those triggers are clear. And then I'm probably going to collect silt and empty out that pond over there, continue taking it to the Gold Master and the fertilizer maker. And also I'll be continuing to collect salt and getting the salt mine emptied out and sold. And depending on how much money I make, I'll maybe buy an extra field or something like that and plant when the time comes. It won't have oilseed radish, but it's still early enough in the year where I could buy more fields. So that's kind of how things are going to go from here. I do appreciate it. If you've stuck around this long, you're awesome. I appreciate it. And definitely come back later for more farming here on Pleasant Valley County. I'll definitely be looking forward to bringing you guys an update. And please visit me over on Twitch at Wheels247 over there. So anyway, our TMR is almost full. It's going to go to the cows, and we are good to go. Guys, for now, I think that's where I'm going to wrap this little update up. Thanks again for tuning into the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you like what you saw for more farm sim action over here on Pleasant Valley County. And I know I haven't put out a video in a while, but I'm going to start trying to put out some videos here this fall to give you guys a really good rundown and a playthrough here on what I'm doing on Pleasant Valley County. So until next time, guys, we'll see you in the next video, or we'll see you over on Twitch. Y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. And thanks again. Wheels out.